Hi, friends. Welcome to the Clarkston Family Farm at Home. This is a series of interactive videos that take our hands-on learning in nature here at the farm and present it for you in a way to enjoy at home. We hope you dig it.
Hi, boys and girls. My name is Naturalist Nancy, and I am here today to do an art lesson with you. I don't know if you knew this about me, but I also love art. And I was an art teacher for a number of years, as well as a school teacher. And one of the subjects I love to draw the most are birds. And in fact, it's a pastime of mine. I've got several sets of binoculars and a backpack, and I go out and I watch and observe birds. When you're an artist, it's really important to learn to observe and look at shapes of the animals that you're looking at. Today, we're going to be learning how to draw an American tree sparrow. So I put my reference right up here on my easel so that I can look at it carefully, because although I have drawn birds in nature, it's really hard because they don't like to stay still for very long. But also, this is something you might start collecting. There are so many different kinds of birds. I subscribe to bird magazines because I love birds so much, but you could go to the library and pick out some books on birds. The thing I like about birds is that they have special features for surviving in nature and in their habitat. Here is a Baltimore Oriole, and I love its slender and pointy beak. And then notice the shape of its tail. I don't know see if I can get a little closer. Notice how it goes in and out. It's got this beautiful shaped tail. And another one that I like to illustrate is the wren. Now, the wren is such a cute little bird because it almost looks like its whole body is an oval shape. But really, it has a head shape that's separate. But, you look at the body and like, oh, that's a really easy shape to do. And then a wren's tail will always go up like this. And then its beak is interesting because if you look closely, it kind of tilts downward just a tiny bit. So those are some of the observations that you can make. Oh, here's another one. This is a female rufous hummingbird. Now, boy, if you were able to see one of these in nature and that it would stay still enough for you to draw it, that's pretty amazing. That's why I love to count on illustrate photos from magazines. Here's one. It's a female rufous, and again, it has that large oval that is almost like the head and the body are one oval. But then look at the long and slender beak. So, and then the short little tail. See, they're all quite different. Another one that you'll see probably in your own backyard, and you probably have already this spring season, because all the males are trying to find the females and starting their family. And this is a female northern cardinal. And the thing I like about the females, northern cardinals, as with the males, is their beaks are this cone-shaped beak. So beaks, shape of beak, size of beaks, shape of the body, size of the body are all things to look for when you're an artist and you're doing a bird illustration. I also have a number of bird books. These are called field guides. These help me when I'm out looking in nature, and trying to identify the birds that I see. And those are helpful too. But if you were able to get some photos, whether it's on the internet or in a magazine like I have, that's really helpful. Now, what other materials are you going to need besides your resources? Well, I happen to have a set of drawing pencils, and that's because I'm an artist and I really love to draw. But you don't have to have a set of drawing pencils. You can just use a regular pencil that you might have at school. So that's fine, and you can, little eraser, no problem. You're all set. You've got your pencil and your eraser. And but if you happen to have a regular gum eraser at home like this, that works well too. My favorite kind of eraser, and I want to kind of show you this, is that it's a kneaded eraser, and it's spelled Kneaded, kneaded eraser, and it is so cool because it stretches and it cleans itself. Actually, I used to just love to do this when I was thinking of ideas. While I'm thinking of ideas on what I want to do, I used to just clean my eraser by stretching it. See how it's getting lighter and lighter? Now, the thing about a kneaded eraser that's really cool is that when you have a regular eraser, it's kind of hard and stiff. And so when you're working on your paper, and you go to erase it, sometimes, maybe you've noticed this, it kind of gums up the surface of the paper and kind of tears it up a little bit, especially if you're one of those hard erasers or you erase real hard with a lot of pressure. But with a kneaded eraser, you don't have to worry about that because it's so soft. It just removes the lines that you don't want without hurting the paper. So that's something. But you know, if you just have a regular eraser, no problem. If you just have a regular pencil, no problem. The lesson that we're going to do today is really simple. It's in 3 easy steps, and I'm going to be showing you those steps. I have a paper here so I can write the steps, and then I have the paper up here for drawing on. And it can be any kind of paper. You don't need to have any special kind of paper either. This happens to be kind of a thick drawing paper. It's like a sketch paper. It has a little bit of a tooth to it. The tooth is the feeling of the paper. And this is all important, but the lesson is going to be how to draw birds. So let's get started. So first of all, what you want to do, every bird has what we call a position. I'm going to move my easel up a little bit closer to the camera so you can see. So I'm going to take my pencil and you can look. See where the head is and see where the tail is? There's the position of the body. When you looked at something like this little wren, it's got a different position. The position line is a little more tilted. So when you were looking at your picture, think about the position line. So that might be the very first step. So I'm going to write number 1, draw the position line. And it's different depending on how every bird is posing for you. So I'm going to adjust the camera a little bit so you can see what I'm drawing here. Okay, so the position line. For this one, it's going to be like this. So I'm just going to draw that position line. I looked at this angle. It looks pretty good. From the beak to the tail, from the beak to the tail, there's the position line. Then the next thing you want to do, step number 2, is to draw the body shapes and the head shapes. And all birds have kind of like an oval body shape, but depending on the bird, sometimes they're thin ovals, sometimes they're fat ovals. But the thing to remember about the oval shape is that when you're doing it, you're following that position line. It's going very closely to the center. See how that line goes right in the center of that oval? And there's your body shape. And then the head is an oval as well, but it's a smaller oval, and it's at an angle, as I can see. So I'm just going to put it here. Now it has to intersect. That means it has to overlap or intersect that that position line. So there it is right there. One of the things that artists, especially when they're beginning to draw birds, might have a problem with is that they draw the head too big. Then it looks like kind of like a cartoon character. And we don't need that. But see where you have the position line there and then this line goes through it? Right there. That's really important for later on because the next thing you want to draw is the placement of the beak. And so if you look at where that line is, just draw a line straight out from that. You can see that little light line. And don't worry about having it be too dark. It doesn't have to be too dark. It can be very light at this point. We're just kind of drawing that through. And then the next thing you want to do is to think about that tail. Now the tail should follow the position line, and I see that right here. And there's the tail. There's the tail. It's already there. It's following that position line. And then another thing is the placement of the eye. So this is the body oval. This is the head oval. It's smaller, and it's following that position line. This is where the beak is. And then where the beak line and the top of the body oval meet, that is where about right there is where that eye is going to be. So make a little circle there for the eye. I'm going to look at my reference now, and I'm going to add some other details. I see here on my reference that the wing is kind of like a triangular shape, and it kind of goes right here at the top of this. Right here, it kind of goes over here, and it comes down like this. It's kind of like a triangular shape. So I'm going to draw that triangular shape. And I'm pressing a little harder so you can see what I'm doing here. And then the body of the bird is already there. I'm just going to make that a little bit more clear. And then it has some under feathers there that join that. So what I'm going to do now is kind of fill out that position line. And I'm going to notice the tail. So I'm adding the tail in there. And then this top of the head, or the crown of the bird, is connected to the body. So here's my crown of the bird, and now I'm connecting it to the body. Do you see how I did that? I didn't go in, I just connected it to the body, because see, it's connected to the body there. And then I'm coming up here, they've got the crown. I'm going to meet the beak, but the beak on this particular tree sparrow is a little more cone shape. It's it's like a smaller than the northern cardinal's cone shape, but it goes like this, goes like that, and then this is going to be puffed out here too. Notice this doesn't go in, this is filling out, so I'm following those lines. So we had draw the position sign, look and draw the body and head ovals. That's your next step. And then look for shapes on your bird and connect them. Okay, so see how I'm connecting the shapes. I'm kind of filling it out. I'm filling out that body shape. So then we have a similar to this picture here. We've got the basic shape of the bird. Now look at the legs. The legs come out. You've got these under feathers here, and you can see that there's a little line there and a little line here. And so I'm just kind of placing those lines where they go. And then this one, I'm going to draw the feet in here. I can kind of see the feet and the little talons on the feet of the bird. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw, in this case I'm just going to draw a little branch here, just sketching the branch. And now I'm going to go with details. So the very last thing, I'll put a little star, add details. This is where all these sketching lines can be erased if you'd like. And so I'm going to take my kneaded eraser and I'm just going to kind of erase that little position line and erase that beak line and that inner oval. And I'm just going to now add the details. So I noticed that on this tree sparrow, I might have the eye a little too far back, because I noticed that this space between here and here was a little smaller. So I'm going to change the position of the eye, and I'm going to make that eye really nice and dark with a little bit of light with it. And then I'm just going to draw some little markings. The top of the beak is darker than the bottom of the beak, and I'm going to draw individual feathers. Now here's something to think about. When you're doing the feathers, and the feathers on the crown are very small and light, they come out from the head of the bird, so your little shapes should be that coming out from the head. They shouldn't go in the reverse direction. Same is true for underneath the beak there. I'm going to make those little feathers coming out. So right now I notice too, as I'm comparing it to the picture, that my beak is a little too long. Got a little excited was drawing a little cardinal beak instead. But I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. And then just going to add other details. Now I see that it's got a marking here by the eye that goes all the way down here. So I'm just going to kind of draw that in. And then I noticed the beautiful striped feathers. And some are on the feathers that lay above and some are on those under feathers. So I'm just going to kind of mark that and try to get the direction. Some of them are darker, some of them are lighter. These are all things you can do and add detail as you go and you're looking at your bird. Now I see that I have some feathers here. Before I was just suggesting them. Now I'm going to just kind of accentuate those a little bit, make those a little bit more prominent. That means standing out. And then I'm going to just kind of feather the underside of my bird. Okay, so there is a little drawing, and I can work more on that as I go, adding more things. I notice that there's a sharp little line here that goes over there, so I'm going to be drawing that too. So there is my tree sparrow, and again, as you're drawing, it doesn't look like a cartoon bird. It looks more like a realistic bird, and I can add and change, and maybe I'm thinking, I think I'm going to change these legs. These legs look like they're a little too short. You can do that. You can move things around. And so I'm looking at my picture and I'm thinking, I need to make this a little bigger and these legs a little longer. So I'm going to do that. Yeah, that looks a little bit better there. Okay. So that's it. That's my tree sparrow lesson. And I hope that you liked it. I hope you were able to see it okay. Thank you. And until next time, have fun drawing birds.